Buckle up as we journey back in time, to the beginnings of a complex rivalry between two powerhouses of the Middle East, Pakistan, and Iran. Our journey begins in the middle of the 20th century, when the world map was being redrawn and new nations were taking their first steps on the global stage. Pakistan, born out of British India in 1947, and Iran, having just emerged from the clutches of foreign influence, were two such nations. Initially, Pakistan and Iran enjoyed cordial relations, sharing common concerns and aspirations as newly formed nations. They were founding members of the Central Treaty Organization, an alliance aimed at preventing the spread of communism. However, beneath this surface camaraderie, differences were simmering. Religion was a significant point of divergence. Pakistan, an Islamic republic, was founded on the principles of Sunni Islam, while Iran, following the Islamic Revolution in 1979, became a Shia Islamic republic. This divergence in religious beliefs and practices, while not the sole cause of their rivalry, certainly added fuel to the fire. Moreover, the two nations' geopolitical alliances also played a significant role in shaping their relationship. Iran, under the Shah, was closely aligned with the United States and other Western powers. Pakistan, on the other hand, maintained a careful balance, aligning itself with both Western nations and China. As the Cold War progressed, these alliances became increasingly significant, and tensions escalated. Adding to this, the Balochistan issue, concerning the large Baloch population living on both sides of the Pakistan-Iran border, also contributed to the growing discord. Both nations accused each other of supporting separatist movements, further straining their relationship. By the late 20th century, these differences had crystallized into a rivalry that would shape the political landscape of the Middle East for decades to come. As we see, the seeds of rivalry were sown early, setting the stage for decades of contention. Now, let's delve into the Cold War era, a time of global tension that further intensified the rivalry between Pakistan and Iran. This period, stretching from the late 1940s to the early 1990s, was marked by ideological conflict and military tension between two global powers, the United States and the Soviet Union. This global standoff had a profound impact on the relationship between Pakistan and Iran. Pakistan found itself aligning with the United States. This was an alliance that was born out of strategic necessity, with Pakistan seeking to counterbalance the influence of its larger neighbor, India. The United States, on the other hand, was keen on gaining a foothold in the region, and Pakistan's geostrategic location made it an appealing ally. While Pakistan was aligning with the United States, Iran was charting a different course. Under the Shah's rule, Iran initially maintained a pro-Western stance, but this changed dramatically with the Islamic Revolution in 1979. The new regime distanced itself from the West and began to champion the cause of Muslim unity. One of the key events that underscored this shift was Iran's support for Bangladesh's independence in 1971. This move was viewed by Pakistan as a betrayal, further straining the relationship between the two countries. Iran's support for Bangladesh was based on its commitment to Muslim unity. It was seen as a move to help a Muslim-majority region gain independence from what Iran perceived as oppressive rule. The Cold War era was a time of great change and challenge for both nations. Pakistan, with its alliance with the United States, and Iran, with its new Islamic identity, found themselves on divergent paths. These developments hardened their stances, deepening their rivalry. The geopolitical chessboard was now set, and the two nations found themselves pawns in a larger game of global power politics. The Cold War era was a time of great change and challenge for both nations, hardening their stances and widening the rift. With the end of the Cold War, the world changed dramatically, and so did the dynamics between Pakistan and Iran. As the world transitioned into a new era, the relationship between these two nations found itself in uncharted territory. The post-Cold War era was a tumultuous time for both countries, with a myriad of issues coming to the forefront. One of the most prominent issues was the rise of the Taliban in Afghanistan. This extremist group, with its origins deeply rooted in Pakistan, posed a significant threat to Iran. As the Taliban gained power, they began to enforce a strict interpretation of Sunni Islam, a stark contrast to Iran's Shia majority. This ideological schism further strained the already tense relationship between Pakistan and Iran, with each country perceiving the other as a potential threat to their national security and regional influence. The tension between the two nations wasn't just limited to ideological differences. the post-Cold War era also saw the emergence of nuclear ambitions. Pakistan, becoming a nuclear power in 1998, heightened Iran's security concerns, pushing the latter to pursue its own nuclear program. This pursuit, however, has been met with international scrutiny and sanctions, further complicating Iran's relationship with Pakistan and the wider international community. Lastly, the shifting regional alliances in the post-Cold War era added another layer of complexity to Pakistan-Iran relations. With the United States and Saudi Arabia fostering closer ties with Pakistan, Iran found itself increasingly isolated, pushing it closer to Russia and China. This realignment of alliances has significantly influenced the geopolitical landscape of the region, with Pakistan and Iran finding themselves on opposite sides of a complex web of alliances and rivalries. The post-Cold War era brought new challenges and complications, further straining the relationship between Pakistan and Iran. The interplay of these issues, the rise of the Taliban, nuclear ambitions, and evolving regional alliances, has shaped the trajectory of Pakistan-Iran relations in ways that continue to reverberate today. Fast forward to the present day, where the rivalry between Pakistan and Iran continues to evolve. Let's take a look at the current state of relations between these two nations. The dynamics between Pakistan and Iran are marked by a blend of cooperation and contention, a dance that has been going on for decades. Presently, we see a focus on trade, regional politics, and security concerns. Trade between Pakistan and Iran has seen its ups and downs. Despite the potential for a robust economic partnership, sanctions against Iran and other hurdles have hamstrung trade relations. The two countries, however, are not sitting idle. They're striving to enhance bilateral trade with talks of a barter trade system where goods are exchanged instead of cash, a creative workaround to bypass financial sanctions. In the realm of regional politics, the two nations often find themselves on opposite sides of the fence. While Iran aligns more closely with India, Pakistan's arch-rival Pakistan has been building strong ties with Saudi Arabia, Iran's regional adversary. This delicate balancing act continues to shape their interactions and policies. Security concerns are at the forefront of their relationship, with both nations sharing a long, porous border. They've had to grapple with issues such as cross-border terrorism, drug trafficking, and the migration of refugees. Both countries have expressed a desire to work together to address these challenges, but the path to effective cooperation is fraught with obstacles. In the midst of all this, one cannot ignore the role of external powers. The United States, China, and other global players have significant interests in the region, and their actions invariably influence the dynamics between Pakistan and Iran. In the present day, the rivalry between Pakistan and Iran continues, shaped by a complex history and an uncertain future. The two countries are navigating their relationship in a rapidly changing world, where old alliances are being tested and new ones are being formed. Their rivalry is not just a product of their past, but a reflection of their present and a harbinger of what may come in the future. As we reach the end of our journey, let's recap the key points of this complex rivalry. The rivalry between Pakistan and Iran, two powerful nations of South Asia and the Middle East respectively, is a tale that spans several decades. It's a saga that started with the origins of their rivalry, rooted in geopolitical and ideological differences, as well as competition for regional influence. During the Cold War era, the rivalry intensified, fueled by the global ideological divide between capitalism and communism. Pakistan, allied with the West, and Iran, before the Islamic Revolution, being a part of the pro-American bloc, found their interests often at odds. This period was marked by a delicate balancing act, as each nation sought to navigate the choppy waters of international politics. As we moved into the post-Cold War era, the rivalry took on new dimensions. With the collapse of the Soviet Union, the global power dynamics shifted, and so did the relations between Pakistan and Iran. The rise of sectarian violence, the nuclear ambitions of Iran, and the changing alliances in South Asia and the Middle East added new layers of complexity to this rivalry. Today we find ourselves in a world where the dynamics between these nations continue to evolve. The rivalry is still very much alive, fueled by a mix of historical animosities, political ambitions, and regional power struggles. Yet within this complex matrix, there are also opportunities for dialogue and cooperation. In the end, the story of Pakistan and Iran is not just about rivalry, it's about two nations striving for their place in a rapidly changing world. It's a narrative of resilience, adaptation, and perseverance. And while their rivalry may be a defining feature of their relationship, it's also a testament to their enduring relevance in the global political landscape. From historical tensions to present-day complexities, the rivalry between Pakistan and Iran is a tale of two nations navigating a changing world. Stay tuned for more insightful discussions on global politics.